Good morning, folks. All right. So, where I left off in the origin story of Justin. At this point, married with 2 children, working in the family business, the club, but the partying never stopped. Oh my goodness, we partied so much. And I thought I had it all. I thought that I was working to live and living to work. I was involved in the arts and the music and everything just seemed to be going exactly how I wanted to go. But it was short-lived. The bar club didn't really take on the financial success that any of us were hoping for. And so it wasn't long before I had to go get a normal job, an hourly job, to try to support my family, my kids, and provide something for them. And so it took a little bit for me to settle into what wound up being long-term career path, but we experimented with some different ways to make money. I worked at Target, worked some different day labor jobs, and just different opportunities to make money before I eventually had a temp agency help me settle into manufacturing. And it seemed at the time like a great opportunity. The economic opportunities of that time were a little different than they are now, and I was really coming up strong. I was working a lot of overtime, getting paid at a good rate, working at this company in northern Maryland, like north of the city, and I thought I was winning. But I also was very uncontent. I wasn't happy with the relationship. And so I wound up splitting up from my first wife, separated from her, and was only seeing my kids every other weekend when they would be brought into my place. And I was partying really hard, selling drugs again, up until the kids would come home, and I would clean up the apartment, and I would be dad for a weekend, and then I would go back to partying. And so I was living this kind of dual life up until where my kids and my wife at the time were staying with my mother out in Westminster, Maryland, way away from the city. But she wound up moving back in with me when my mother didn't respect our choice to keep religion out of our kids' lives. And so I brought her into my house, and the 4 of us were all living in a house, but wife and I were sleeping in different areas. I was in the basement and she was upstairs in the main bedroom. Up until one night when she came home and, a little intoxicated, and we hooked up and we were back in action. Truth and love, folks.